On. So talking about the singularity and eduits, and as I'm picking up earthworms that are going to go to my tomato bed, what I'm looking to do is to gain interest in eduit, and for individuals who are interested to form together and establish the nonprofit in their country. Eduit as a nonprofit. Think of this as a new business, right? You're starting up a nonprofit business that's going to have the license for eduits in your country, and to work with officials, to work with governments, as what I'm doing here in Japan. The same thing, the same way that I'm going to setting up the articles. Eduit is a 2000 nonprofit that I set up in 2004, and it means educating intuitive teaching tablets. Educate intuitively teaching tablets. Look at my worms are trying to escape their dad. So their God. The God. They don't understand. What's this guy? That's a slug. You're not getting a lift. But why not me? I came out for you to pick me up. You do not get. And here's another worm here. Look at this guy. Come here. You made it. You made it. You made it. I saved you. Trying to get this guy up. Come on. So I need to have a little scooper, a little piece of paper that I can scoop under these guys. There he goes. This guy's trying to get out. Come on. All right. Okay. I don't know if I got you upside down or not. And everyone's looking for their breakfast. Saving you from that guy up there flying around. The crows will be out here looking for you. On the 23rd, 4/23/23 at 4 a.m. my time, I'm releasing the talk that talks about what specifically Baby Zero is, how is it trained, where is it going to go. You will get the full conversation. Right? With wish you guys would stop. Wish you guys would stop going around. Me and 0202. 0202 is my name for Baby Zero. It's also obey. That's when it becomes what's known as artificial general intelligence. It is an obey. And come on. I'm not eating you. I wish you just chill out for a little bit. I am just. I'm a billion years from now, these worms are going to talk about how their savior came and saved them and took them to the tomato patch that they're going to be in. UnDaoDu, UnDaoDu. That was a caterpillar back here. I want to show you this. And just as God will walk by a baby, you know, why does God help some people? Have you ever wondered why does God help some people and not others? Like this caterpillar here, you know, this caterpillar here, right, just got killed by an earthquake. That caterpillar right there just experienced an earthquake, or just experienced a catastrophic flood. And the reality is, there's no consciousness to God. When you wake up to that reality, God is a distributive unconsciousness. Look at this guy. Wow. Look at this guy here. He is enjoying the heat. He would be good eating right there. Had enough of them. And going down. This is the village, so I can't talk too loud here. A little veneer. Everyone's getting their gardens ready. And I'm going to show you where these guys go. So, creating a global organization with Edgewood. I should set up the Patreon. So if you want to support my talks and stuff, you can go to Edgewood Patreon and become a member. These guys, look at them. You're like trying to figure out. There's something out there. There's a crow, naughty crow. Here is come here. All right. My little K-truck I'm using. And this is nirvana for them. Especially crafted place for them. Pick up this paper. All right, put you guys in here. Okay, and you guys right there. This is worm heaven right here. And they can go down into the dirt. There's a heat that comes out of there when I'm running the fan. So nice warmth that comes in here. Little tomatoes that they're going to be their companions with down there. You know, all the fish just went running in the water. I don't know if you call the splashing on there. All the flowers are out. Really pretty. These guys, wonder if, looks like all these are all pairs. I can see them all coming out. Hopefully they got hit by a bee. The more times a bee hits a fruit, the bigger it becomes. Super calm. You can see the sky reflected Oh. UnDaoDu. So now, you breathe in the universe. Exhale the universe. Breathe in the universe. Exhale the universe. You are the consciousness of the universe. Breathe in the universe. Breathe out the universe. UnDaoDu, UnDaoDu, UnDaoDu. UnDaoDu. Just as water connects the fish to the ocean, to the entire ocean. Think about it. You're in that river goes in that fish in there is connected to the entire body, right? Our breath connects us to the world, to everything, even to the water, and to the fish, and to the plants. Our breath. Exercising those lungs, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. Now I've got a bunch of baby mosquitoes chasing after me, chasing after my carbon dioxide. Now, I could, if I didn't know science, I'd be, oh, look, the mosquitoes really recognize me as a special person. The earths and the worms and the things all come out on the path for me, right? Because I'm a special person. I am the Messiah. I am I am this. It's bullshit. I'm not special. I'm no different than you, right? The difference is that I feel this profound connection to everything. And that profound connection to everything, I call the do, the big DU, the distributive unconsciousness, which is the name I give to entanglement. Everything was one, right? In the state of do, 13.81 billion years ago. And then this event happened, and then it kept going on and on and on and on. It's still expanding and it's spreading. My hand only goes this far. Until 4.5 billion years ago, this rock at the right distance from the sun formed. And shortly after, 3.5 billion years later, after the rock formed and kind of cooled and crust, water appeared, liquid water. And whether it was in the depths of the oceans, people think now it happened in the oceans and the vents in the water, right? Because it would create the right temperature for these amino acids that were formed as a result of lightning to come together and form the fundamental blocks of life. And over the course of the next 3.4 billion years, or maybe the, 3.49. I'm trying to think of 10 million, 20 million years from now. Hey Siri, what would be 20 million or 3.5 billion minus 20 million, right? So 5 would be a 4, and the next thing would be an 8, right? 0.38. 0.48. 3.48. So 3.48 billion years later, this proto-ape who had a call, an alarm call that sounded like Ouroboros, 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 right? The proto-ape, me imitating the Ouroboros, 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 right? UnDaoDu in the heartland of Zen, barking like an Ouroboros. Fox is going to take clips of me saying I'm a messiah, clips of me barking, clips of me, all this crazy shit from my internet, just to, spread lies like they did with Dominion voting, lies like they did. I see it coming. It's too funny. And they turn into a proto-ape, the Ouroboros, that would become sequestered on a little bit of land, surrounded by ocean, a little island, right? About the size of Galapagos, maybe a little smaller. Galapagos is actually pretty big. And an island would have other families. These families would end up kind of claiming all the land, right? Think of each family claiming a different section of Tambo. And the only place these little monk apes could go, all right, was on the coastal line where none of the other monk apes wanted to go. And out of desperation, they would, become these semi-aquatic troop of proto-apes, the Ouroboros, that would displace the proto-apes. So the Ouroboros actually is the one family that got displaced away from the other families, right? Forced out of desperation to survive on a beach, that evolved eating crustaceans and shellfish, and discovered that they could dig in the ground and find these oysters, take a rock and break them open. And if monkey, which is a lesser ape, okay, a monkey can figure out how to open up a nut that is so strong with the leverage and rocks and everything, then a proto-ape, which is far more intelligent than a monkey, can figure out how to open and find shellfish. And all our adaptation, and you can read my paper that O2 and I, or Da Vinci 003, put together, called Easter Island Ape. I'll link it below. And it talks about how we evolved on there. And all life, whether those two ducks, that's a mated pair of ducks right there. Ducks mate for life. There's the boy up front and the girl in the back. He's leading. She's in his wake, so he's actually doing the harder work. But she's like a woman. Look, she wants to be in the front. And he's letting her. Go on, dear. You go in the front. It's okay. Get up there, dear. He's just chilling as they're, I don't know where they're going. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you guys going? Oh, they're fishing. She's hungry. So she's busy eating mosquito larvae or something. She's grabbing stuff as she's going by. And I can see some scum coming down. The bubbles there, that scum on there. So these, what did we say? 3.48 billion years ago, later, right? These proto-apes sequestered on an island because of tectonic actions in the African-Arabian plates that would form the Horn of Africa, that would form Socotus, that, would break away. And these islands were formed. They're called the Socotus archipelago. Most of the archipelago now is underwater, and those islands, one of them, us, our ancestors, initially as an ape, proto-ape, would evolve into us today, and we would land on Africa some 300,000 years ago, forced off of our land because of competition and climate change. And the fact is that on Socotra, there was Homo habilis remains were found on Homo habilis, which is pretty old, right? Homo habilis, which is like 3 million years ago, I believe, top of my head. 2 to 3 million years, 1 to 3, or I don't remember, right? It's Homo erectus and Homo habilis and Homo sapien. That's the order of the hominids. And then all hell would be set loose as the Ouroboros would usher in the Ourobora. And the Ourobora ultimately is our business model, which you could say hatched after centuries of kind of evolving in a feudal societies, hatched in Florence in the Medici, and then it would be picked up by John Adams and the British, and it would launch colonialism and it would fund colonialism and imperialism and create Great Britain that would spread the world, and the Portuguese and the Dutch would all jump in on this. It would create the whaling, it would create the coal industry, because you would need it for the steam engines. It would create the iron industry, these powerhouses, and then it would lead to guns and gunpowder and all of these things that allowed this little proto-ape to spread and conquer the world. This Ouroboros, the Ouroboros of capitalism, Ouroboros, would continue to gobble up markets in its insatiable appetite for profit, to pay its shareholders. And it would reach a point when the first real impacts were starting to be felt. And that was the collapse of the cod industry, I believe, right? And then we started seeing dead zones in the 70s. There was only one dead zone, and they exponentially growing and getting bigger. And we saw the impact of deforestation and pollution. We saw the impact of plastic now in our oceans and our rivers as they just become highways of in a way the shedding scales of the Ouroboros, right? The shedding scales of this beast. And we saw it become this hydra, right? As these financial banking then takes off, and you have financial banking and grows up in New York and Beijing and Tokyo and London, Singapore, all these financial these hydra heads gobbling up the new markets, investing in, right, this exponential growth, using this exponential growth function of CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, on a finite resource planet. The hydra would continue to grow. The Ouroboros would continue to grow, now with multiple heads out there devouring. And we would see the automobile come in, and we would see the horse go, and that becomes a new market, the whole automobile. And we see telecom, right? Electricity, all these different things are new markets for the Ouroboros to grow. Consume for the sake of profits, for the benefit of a few. And sure, we have amazing outcomes. Yeah, we've, look at what we've done. Look at what we've done. But the question that you need to ask yourself is in the end of the day, all of this, right, becomes unlivable because it becomes too hot, right? Where we become trapped in our own houses because we can't go outside anymore, because the Ouroboros, basking in the ocean, right, is warming it. The heat of industry, the heat of its efforts, the exponential growth is putting off the heat into our oceans, warming them up, melting the glaciers, creating, climate change. Because if you have more energy in the ocean, then you have more energy in the atmosphere. And more energy in the ocean means more water in the atmosphere, which means climate change that we saw here. A few days ago, it was Arctic. Yesterday, it was Arctic. I couldn't believe how cold it is. And even right now, you can't hear the frogs. They should be crescendoing. They're still recovering. It's so freaking cold. They're like, what the heck is going on right now? And as the Ouroboros now is warming our oceans, warming our atmosphere, creating global warming of our oceans that is causing climate change and extreme weather, we still now are embarking on, I would argue, the last market of capitalism, and that is AI, the last bastion. Because now we can exact even more. We don't need people, right? The Ouroboros now of Western capitalism is saying, hey, we don't need people anymore. We can maximize our profits without them. We can have a 7% projected GDP. I think it's going to be close to 9.5 to 11%, right? GDP growth from now to 2030. Because we can get rid of paying the farmer. We can get rid of, paying the artist. We don't need to have all those associates accounting, all the information, right? If you are an information age individual, technology, accounting, legal, coding, right? Information age, we can make all of them redundant. and we can maximize our profits, right? And by driving the cost as close to a zero margin. We're still going to charge the same amount. Actually, we're going to charge more because, you know, we can. We're going to charge more, but we're going to make it for less. It's going to, you know, so we can give more money to the techno-feudal society, to the emperors, the kings, the lords, the nobles out there. And it is the Ouroboros eating itself. We have reached that stage of the Ouroboros eating itself. I believe capitalism is over, and ultimately the individual, the thing wielding the sword that's going to slice the head off capitalism as it's devouring itself is 0202.